Hello everyone. We are broadcasting live today from Catskill Animal Sanctuary, and it is just me and some pigs. Lauren, my helper, my assistant if you will, she is taking a well-deserved break. She certainly covered for me while I was off, and so it's just me today doing our live stream. We'll give everybody a minute to tune in, and for those of you who are new to tuning in, we are hanging out with some of our pigs, and if you saw me teasing Lauren for being my assistant, it is all just in good fun. So, I'm realizing now that saying Piglet anniversaries may have been slightly misleading in my title there, because it's the anniversary of when they were piglets and arriving here at the sanctuary. We're a couple of days away from the anniversary, but we only do these once a week, so but yeah, so we are celebrating the anniversary of this guy, that girl, and all of their siblings, who we'll see some of them maybe depending on where they decide to come. I'm looking out into their field right now. They all arrived here about yay big. They were just itty bitty babies, and they have grown up here at Sanctuary, so we're hanging out with the pigs. And we honestly still, 6 years later, because they arrived in the very, very start of June 2015, 6 years later, we have still continued to call them the piglets. Sometimes we'll call them the pink pigs. But if you can guess who this guy is, and as a consequence, who that one is back there, I will, I'll give you a shout out. So leave your guess in the comments who we are looking at. I'll give you a hint. There are 5 pigs, 5 pink pigs, the piglets, who live in this field. They are as follows: Kevin, Regina, Scott, Madeline, Merida. And guess which 2 these guys are. Hi Sherry, hi Janine. We've got Norma popping in here, Tammy, Sarah. Hi everyone. And if you have questions about our pigs, by all means, ask away. Today we are going to be talking a little bit about their origin story, and hopefully getting in some Mario and Audrey cuddles as well. They're always tiny piglets to us. Yes, they are, despite being very big these days. Very, very big. So we did get a guess in there. Thank you, Shannon. These guys, you get a 50% on your guess, so that is pretty good, honestly. We've guessed Kevin and Scott. This is Scott, but that is not Kevin. So Scott tends to be found near one other sibling, most commonly. They're very commonly like a pair. They go places together. So who do we usually see Scott hanging out with? Leave your guess in the comments below, because Scott, good pig. Right before I started broadcasting this, I said his name, talking about him, and he looked over from his nap. He actually kind of woke up from his nap, and he was like, why are you saying my name? Do I need to? Ooh. Good yawn, Scott. Good yawn. Yes, Veronica. So Scott is usually with Regina, and that is Regina back there. Oh, we coming out? Oh. Let's see if we can get a little bit better of a view in here. Are we gonna annoy our sister, Scott? But yes, so that is Regina lying there. Sorry for the tractor noises in the background, everyone. It is a working sanctuary, which means that there is always a lot going on here, and that is one of the reasons why we are so grateful for your support so that we can continue to renovate this place, make sure it's safe and always up to date for all of our friends, and also continue to pay the wonderful humans who help us to keep everybody safe, healthy, fed. Oh, that was a good cuddle puddle, buddy. My Regina, I know. Regina is doing an excellent sleepy flop at the moment. They are just the absolute sweetest. And they are covered in mud at the moment. So they have loved that from pretty much day one. Yeah, they have loved that pretty much from day one. And one of the easy ways that we can tell Scott and Regina apart, so some of what we're seeing on them is mud. We've got a beautiful little muddy nose, some lovely muddy feet, all of that, because they love to hang out and bask in the mud at night or during the day in the sun when it's hot out. Honestly, I have tried to get permission to hang out in the pig wallows over and over again. My boss just keeps saying no. I have to do my work in the office. But they like to use the mud as a way of cooling down because the only place where they're actually able to sweat is from the tips of their snouts, which is not enough to help them cool off on a hot day. And it is also, they use the mud to be a natural sunscreen, although we'll put sunscreen on them as well. And they use it to keep bugs off of them. Oh, that was a cute little... Now we've got Scott's foot spooning Regina's foot. There is Wi-Fi in the pig wallow, I'm just saying. So I hear that. But these guys, you could also tell them apart not just by their general face shape, which I like to do, but Scott and Regina have a skin condition that's a little bit different than some of their other pigs. So sorry, I'm taking it out of focus here, but you can see some darker spots on them. Scott and Regina do have a condition that is fine, but it causes them to have some darker, greasier looking spots on their skin. And we are finally getting it sort of treated a little bit more efficiently. Our veterinarian had struggled for a really long time to get these guys. Our veterinarian had really struggled to figure out how to get it under control in adult pigs, because what they have going on is something that if a piglet had it on a farm, the piglet probably would have just been killed. And they developed it a little bit later in life, but we have a pretty strong policy here that having some sort of sickness is not a reason to just sort of be killed. Just like we would not do that to our cat or a dog, or hopefully would not do that. Instead, we would take them to the vet, get it checked out, and try out some medications, try out some overall lifestyle changes and treatment approaches until we got a solution. And we will continue to take care of them, even if they were getting a worsening condition. That's the beauty of sanctuary life. You get to grow old here. Scott and Regina are the kind of pigs who typically would not live past how old on a farm? Leave your guesses in the comments below. Those of you who are our regular viewers, thank you so much for tuning in all the time. I bet you know the answer. So how long would Scott and Regina have been allowed to live on a farm? and I'm gonna launch into their origin story while you take that time to leave the guesses here. We're gonna try and get my tripod set up. I am taking up too much of the screen, and honestly, Scott's face is just so much cuter than mine. Right, Scott? And Regina. I'm sorry, Regina's in the front now. Her face, also so much cuter than mine. Tied for most cute with Scott, and every other pig here, and every other animal here, except for the humans. I'm just kidding. We've got great animal care staff. Janine, you don't know how long. Okay, well, we're going to give everybody else a chance to guess how long they would be allowed to live on a farm as well. And Janine, pull out your pen and paper. Janine is one of our longtime viewers, as well as a wonderful sponsor of some of the residents here at the sanctuary, along with her wife, Sherry. So we are so grateful for your support. That is right, Veronica. So typically, Scott and Regina on a farm would have only been allowed to live about 6 months. So Scott and Regina got really, really lucky. They have a sort of unconventional origin story. They are probably, and we're not totally sure. Oh no, you're good, Janine. I'm sorry. Scott and Regina are Yorkshire or Yorkshire cross pigs, and they are some of the most common types of pigs that we see on farms in the United States these days. And most pig farms at this point, oh my, we don't love that there's a weed whacker happening, and Regina is letting us know. Look, we're getting some side eye from Regina. Sherry, it's okay. Oh well, then we're gonna have to actually. I'm gonna take back gently teasing Janine, because we want you to be brave and take a guess. You don't have to know the answer at all. Oh no, we've got a weed whacker here. We're gonna just hold out for 1 second, and sorry. Thanks. We're gonna have to get the weeds whacked a little bit later in this section. Thank you so much for excusing our background noise. But Scott and Regina were born on a farm that was actually a vegetable farm. Traditionally, they would have been living their entire life indoors on concrete floors. And let me just show you what they like to do to their field. So I'm just gonna move this. So pardon the willow tree, but their field is not nearly as green. Not nearly as green as that lovely horse field behind. It is entirely dug up, and they love to do that. They are constantly nose to the earth, digging it up, outside, active. I swear, they move around. They do things sometimes. But they're constantly out there doing stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Cranky pigs. Cranky pigs. And so to live indoors confined where you can't really even turn around, not the most fun for these guys at all. Really, really stressful environment on these concrete floors, unable to move around. And this is actually how farmers are able to get them to grow to be about 250 pounds by the time they're just 6 months old, by feeding them a lot of food that is not necessarily built for their overall, or designed for their overall longevity and health, and by keeping them from being able to be active and strengthen their muscles, and strengthen their bodies and grow to be long-lived pigs rather than really big baby pigs. So Scott and Regina, born on a vegetable farm, actually might have had a chance, had they stayed on this farm, to go outside. But the thing is, these vegetable farmers had a change of heart after all of the piglets were born. And they decided, no, we cannot kill them. We're not going to raise them for 6 months and then send them to be killed. These guys are now, Rebecca, they are now 6 years old. 6 years old. 6.5. A little under 6.5. They're 6. We'll just call them 6 because they got here when they were a couple months old. They were about 3 months old when they got here. And they were lucky enough to have been born to folks who did have, oh my goodness. They were lucky enough to have been born to folks who had a change of heart. Unfortunately, they had paid money for the mom, and they decided to resell her. But we were able to take in all of the siblings, and they are gonna live for how long here at Sanctuary? All things going okay. I'm just gonna knock on some wood over here and continue to hope for their good health. How long do our big pigs live? These ones who are bred to just grow so big so quickly. Also, I feel like the lighting is not, I'm like literally glowing. I usually say I reflect the sunlight, but it's hard with the dark behind me here, so pardon the light, everyone. So Janine, the oldest pig at Catskill Animal Sanctuary, is Charlotte, and Charlotte is almost 17 years old. So how long do we think that Scott and Regina might live? That was a good question to ask. Oh, also, while you're taking your guesses, that's true, Veronica. So Veronica is saying that Reggie, a big pig who we had here, was an oldie when he was about 14 years old. And this is our friend, our very muddy friend, Audrey. Audrey, you're also not working with the light here, my dear. So Reggie, by the way, I'm gonna give you a little more context now while you take your guesses. I loved Reggie. He was so good. You're right, Heather. He was one of the best pigs. They're all the best pigs, but look at that Mario and Audrey. Oh, you got a little something on your face there, Audrey. You do. So Charlotte weighs about 100 pounds. And Reggie, at 14, weighed over 800 pounds. Scott and Regina, right now, they weigh probably around 400 to 500 pounds. Mario and Audrey here weigh about 600 pounds. And all of these guys do continue to get bigger over the course of their lives. In a way that we don't see with a ton of other species. Sleepy Mario is absolutely adorable. So Mario and Audrey and Scott and Regina, as big pigs, as pigs who unfortunately have been bred to grow really large really quickly. Their lifespans tend to be about 10 to 14 years. Unlike Charlotte, who's a potbelly pig, whose lifespan is closer to 20 years. Because we have changed how their bodies work. And that's one of the really unfortunate things about how we've bred farmed animals, is that we've bred them to be not the healthiest. We've bred them for sort of our purposes. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna have as healthy of lives as they could had we not intervened so intensely in the way that their bodies work, the way that their sort of DNA is shaping their bodies. I'm just gonna turn this around so that I can read the comments, but hopefully we can get a little snuggle in. Why, Audrey? Look, I'm just kidding. I'm getting a little peek from Audrey here. So I know this is supposed to be about our Piglet Rescueversary, but this is supposed to be our Piglet Rescueversary. But Mario and Audrey are perpetually. Oh, we have. Hold on 1 second, folks. Oh, we're still going. Sorry. Be done at like 1:30. I popped out of view and it looked like I had disappeared from the field, so I just had to go and get the weed whacker to be quiet for a couple more minutes for us there. Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah, we're so fortunate, Sherry, to be able to get these guys the vet care. To get these guys the vet care that they deserve, to help them live these long, beautiful lives. Because pigs are so much like us, honestly. They want to live. They want to be able to be free, to form their own relationships and friendships. Right, Audrey?
Are you a good pig? Very good pig. Are you a sleepy pig?
We are a sleepy pig. She can smell. I think I didn't wash my hands well enough after eating lunch right before coming here. Because we're very interested in what I probably had for lunch. Which was vegan lunch of stuffed grape leaves and some fruit because it's summer and those are wonderful hot weather treats. And I also want to say that if you want to have the chance to come and meet Mario and Audrey and Scott and Regina, they are such good ambassadors for their species. They do need lots of stuff to keep them occupied, Rebecca. That is true. What they've got in their fields, they've got, they like to dig around in their fields. They've got wallows, they've got some toys. They've got big spaces to roam around in, and they've got each other, which is really helpful for them to be able to just socialize and experience all of those relationships. They've got their best bud sets, but then they've got this bigger group dynamic, which is really important to them as well. And so we give them that chance. Janine and Sherry are trying to get us to do this a little bit longer, as per usual. We love you guys. Right, Mario? Mario? Nah, we're snoozing. These guys do all have the ability to learn their names. Pigs are incredibly smart. They can solve puzzles. They've been taught to play video games. And Audrey here has figured out the latches on her gates more than a few times. So she's a fun little escape artist that we have on hand. And by little escape artist, she is not exactly all that little. So does anyone have any questions about some of our pig residents here while we are hanging out with them? We are gonna just chillax with Mario and Audrey for a little bit longer. I also want to take a moment to promote our programs that we do. So please do come visit. We are open for public tours now. So if you live in the area, you can come on over, join one of our public tours. Space is limited. So we are doing pre-registrations online for visitors so that you can meet these guys up close and in person as the wonderful ambassadors who they are. We will drop a link in the comments below for you to purchase tickets on our website. And if you can't come in person, but you wish that you could be more involved in our programming, we still have good news for you. We are continuing to offer virtual field trips for students, so promote that for the kids in your life at virtual camp, at regular camp, at the end of their school year, as well as virtual tours for anyone, and virtual cooking classes. And we'll drop the links for all of those programs as well. Chef Linda's next virtual cooking class, you can cook along. She is doing some Moroccan-inspired vegan dishes on June 10th. It looks absolutely delicious. There's a tagine, there's some couscous, there's stuffed dates. So check it out. It'll be a good time, and I will be tuning in at the start of the class with some cute faces. Who? We're not totally sure, but some cute faces. And Rebecca, no, these guys are not Potbelly pigs. So Mario and Audrey are Berkshire pigs. They were pigs who, instead of being bred for companion animal lives, although potbelly pigs themselves, who are bred to be companion animals, still often don't receive the care, attention, vet care that they need and deserve. And often the piglets are sold to people who are not prepared to take care of someone who has a 20-year lifespan. And they end up in shelters, cat and dog shelters, after a couple years. That's what happened to our Charlotte, the potbelly pig. She was at a cat and dog shelter because she grew to be 100 pounds as a small pig, but a big indoor companion animal. And the people who had bought her thinking that micro pigs existed and that she was one, and micro pigs, they don't exist. Just a heads up, there's no such thing as a teacup pig. There's no such thing as a micro pig. It's unfortunately a myth we've been sold. Charlotte ended up a lot bigger than they were expecting, and they abandoned her. They gave her up. But Mario and Audrey are big pigs, so they reach well over 100 pounds. They're about 600 pounds. They were bred to be raised on a farm. They were bred with the intention of killing and eating them, and they are fortunate enough to never, ever, 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 you hear me? He hears me. You see that little ear? He hears me. They are never going to be eaten here at the sanctuary. And instead, we are going to help folks learn all sorts of wonderful, delicious, alternative protein sources and nutrient sources that come from plants, which is why you should definitely check out Chef Linda's vegan cooking classes, because we do not have to eat these guys or their friends or any of the animals who we rescue here to live healthy, happy, beautiful, fulfilling lives in 2021. And we also know that when we raise these guys, what we are often doing, because we have thousands of pigs in one barn, thousands of pigs in one barn on slatted concrete floors, where their waste is collecting under them, and they can't move. We are not just hurting them, we are also hurting ourselves. Not necessarily just by eating. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Scott, what happened, buddy? When you hear a pig yelling, you get out of the way. Scott, did Regina run you out of the house? Regina ran you out of the house. I am so sorry, my dude. I am so sorry. That was tragic. That was tragic. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. I know, buddy. I know. And there's our culprit. Oh, goodness. Regina, what were you doing? She's like, I'm pleased with myself. We know that their waste that was collecting under them, we are spreading over fields. We're literally spraying pig waste from farms into the air in communities. And we are hurting each other. We are hurting often the most vulnerable and marginalized among us, so that we can continue to eat pigs who we don't need to eat. And so I am so grateful that I've had the chance to learn the ways that animal agriculture doesn't just touch the lives of non-human animals, but also of our own kin. And to have the opportunity to start advocating for them and to hopefully encourage lots of folks to make differences for so many wonderful reasons, for our environment, for each other, and of course for them. I mean, look at that butt. Look at that butt. That butt is gonna go take a butt bath. Right, Scott? And with your support, we're able to continue to provide a good home for our rescued animals here at the sanctuary and share their stories on public tours, on virtual field trips, on virtual vegan cooking classes. Check out our Compassionate Cuisine blog as well. And I forgot, I'm over time, so Sherry, Janine, congrats, you're getting a few extra minutes out of me, which is pretty standard. I also forgot that Kathy Stevens' podcast is back up, so check it out. We're going to leave a link to her podcast in the comments below, and you can be joined by the dulcet tones of Catskill Animal Sanctuary's founder, shouting, "Pig, pig, pig, pig!" and probably cackling a few times on the podcast as well, because those of you who have had the chance to enjoy any of Kathy's tours here at the sanctuary or catch her on a video know that she has a laugh you can hear across the sanctuary, and certainly brings a lot of joy to all of us. All right, so I will be back here next Thursday at 1 p.m. to bring you some chicken time, and check out all of our other virtual program offerings. Get yourself some tickets. We can't wait to welcome you in person to the sanctuary if that is something that fits into your summer travel schedule. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye, everyone.